Hey guys, and how's it going? I'm still under the weather. Um, I just don't feel very good. I ain't been hardly doing anything out here. I started on this a few days ago, this 620, and I've managed to get the machine work done, the exhaust roughed in, and I got the ring in there where I want to move the transfers to, and that's about as far as I've made it. I got the lowers roughed in too, so I still got to do the primary and secondaries, rough the intake in, finish the exhaust, and then got to do a muffler mod on it. Waiting for an air filter to show up for it too. Reached out to Ryan at Wolf Creek Saw Shop. Awesome guy to deal with. I get a lot of parts for my projects through him, and I had such great success with doing that piston swap. Actually done a couple piston swaps now, but I reached out to him to see what he had for 44 millimeter pistons, and I got this Meteor, which is the PC 2254 000, and that is for the Husqvarna 350. The Partner 500 piston will work as well. I assume the 5000 would too, but I've never physically had the 5000 piston. I bought one off from eBay that was told it was a 5000 piston, and I guess it stirred up quite a bit of controversy on Facebook. If you buy something off from eBay, you can only go off what the description says. I don't have the box to it anymore, but it looked very similar to this piston, if not probably the same piston. But he asked if I cared if they were in boxes, and I says I don't care. I'm going to be doing bad things and probably screw 2 of the 3 up before I get that far. And this one's in a Meteor box, but he's got it marked NWP, which I don't care. I think that's New West product. It's got a little different shape. So it's not that I can't use this. It's just the jig that I built to put my clip grooves in after I bore this out pushes against this flat spot here. There is no flat spot there, so I'll probably have to build a new jig. Not the end of the world. First one wasn't. I probably won't destroy my first one because it's working so good for me. I'll leave that one alone. But yeah, this looks very similar to that other aftermarket one I bought off from eBay. I wanted to see what the weights were. The NWP is 57. Let me write that on the top of that piston so I don't forget. That's 57. That's actually pretty heavy, if I recall. I'm going to put NWP. So there's that one. The clips are perfectly round, and that one, no tabs. Same ring. These all have cavers. This one, I believe, is a highway. This one just came wrapped up, and it's similar design, but it's got the HY on it. I'm assuming this is a highway, and the feel of it feels quite a bit better. That one's weighing in the same as the NWP. between 56 and 57. Sometimes it's 56, sometimes it's 57. We're at 57 on that one as well. And then we got the Meteor right here. And that's light, that's 54. So this will probably be probably test fit and do bad things, and then whatever the result is, I'll probably end up transferring it all into this one. But I am super thrilled. It's awesome that he hooked us up with these parts. I know I know the piston swap was a big hit. I mean, it ran really, really strong for Kenny, strong enough for him to get first place with it. I've got the Sawfest results printed off. I'll have to pick them up tomorrow, and then I can go through and figure out where some of my saws placed. I don't know everyone that had one of my saws, because I handed out saws, and then those people that I did hand out saws to, they might already had saws that was built by me that they wanted to run my saw instead of their saw that they already owned, so their saws turned around and got rehanded out. I'm only going to mark, I'm not going to pester everybody to try to get all the info, but I'm only going to mark down the ones that I know for sure were mine or possibly mine. But quite interesting results on some of that. Racing's racing. But I got a 201T. I think this is a 201T. I got a 201T. I got a port up for an Amish feller. He liked his 500 so much he wants me to do something with that. So they're not horrible to do. I've been getting, not sure what's going on. It must be somebody's probably released a video or something on some clone I did or something. Because this goes in spurts. I've been getting hammered the last 3 days, 4 days, 3 days. They're all blending and blurring together on me. People send me messages wanting me to port their clone. It's not nothing to do with the person. I don't have no interest in taking on a clone chainsaw. I think I've been asked twice for that little Neotech. Oh gosh, what the heck was it? 843. Same thing as the Husqvarna 43cc saw. So for a much cheaper quality counter knockoff. I built one of them. I believe it was for Indiana Doug. And there was a reason behind me building that. It had nothing to do with Doug. It had nothing to do with Neotech. I did some trading back when I did that. So I did some trading and I got a brand new in the box. I think it was an 543 XP. It was brand new in the box. Did some trading, and they're a pricey little saw. I think they're like in the $800 range. And I'd never ported one, so I thought to myself, I can either buy one of them crummy clones to practice on before doing the real deal, so I don't screw up an expensive cylinder, or I think I'd seen video that Doug had. He had one there sitting there, so I said, hey, be my guinea pig. So I did up that saw. I used him as a guinea pig is what I did. I took his cheap saw, did bad things to it, got a good result, was happy with the result, mailed him back his saw, then turned around and did the same bad things into my saw, because I figured if it worked in the clone, I could duplicate it in the real saw. And yeah, those little 543s, I got no bad complaints. The clones have quite a few issues unless they've got them sorted out. But the real deal, well, it's not even a real Husky. I believe Zenoa produces that 543-4 Husqvarna. But that, I don't really have nothing against Zenoa. Zenoa builds really good stuff. In fact, a lot of the clones are repops of Zenoa stuff, and honestly, in the clone world, the Zenoa clones sometimes tend to be a little better quality than repops of some of the Huskies and Steels. But I don't have no interest in doing clone crap. Just don't hold up, and I can't see. I don't feel comfortable taking on something like that when I know deep down in my heart it's probably going to fail. So I just feel you're wasting your money. I take on work here and there. I'm not a production porter, so if I do take on something, I want it to have better value than a clone. That's the best I can say about that. But I have ported a few clones for friends, inner circle friends that they compete with or whatever, and they know if it blows up or quits running or whatever, that's fine. I have done a few clones where I've gave them away on the channel, just because I didn't feel comfortable selling them. I mean, Chinese piece of shit that you zipped up, no telling how long it's going to last. And I sold that white clone I used to race with. I sold that actually for less than what I had into the thing, because I switched out some piston parts and put OEM seals in it. I'm trying to think what else I did. I think I put an OEM carburetor in it, and I way overpaid. I think I gave $450 for that thing, and I think that's what I sold it for. So I mean, it's just I have no interest in trying to wheel and deal clones. I know that little John Cutter, the one I don't know how the one I ported and gave away on the channel is doing, but the other one that I welded up the cylinder on, it's still going strong. That's a tree service that's got that, and I sold that thing for a song, and he's been beating the crap out of it. Knock on wood, it keeps going, but I suspect sooner or later it will have a failure. But I don't take a lot of 620s or 590s on either. And it's not that I don't like the saw. I really like the saw. I hate doing the muffler mod on these. Grab it. These are the mufflers on these, and inside there's a bunch of stupid BS that should have never been put in there to begin with. You got a tube, you got a wall. A lot of people, and I've done it too, cut right here and put a hole, and then they remove this inner deflector or whatever, and then bolt this deflector back on. The downside with doing that, they sound like shit, they don't run right, and they slobber shit everywhere, because it's there's nothing to catch the expanding exhaust as it it traps a dead pocket in there, and then all you're doing is poofing stuff that just doesn't work right. So I have to go in with a fine torch and blow all this bullshit out of here, and then reach in this way and through this way and work my way around. Sometimes I'll blow a hole through the muffler that I got to patch up, and I got to cut all that crap out in pieces and pull it out with pliers. And then I got to go in there with bits and try to knock as much of the slag as I physically possibly can. Sometimes I'll actually bolt the screen back on with this thing, and then bolt the plate back on this, and I'll fill this with hardened nuts and bolts and stuff, and I'll actually just sit there and let it run on the lathe for a while to beat the crap, try to get the slag and stuff, do whatever I can do to try to get the slag out. It takes me like two and a half hours to do a halfway decent, respectable muffler mod. And then I got to weld up the top of it, put a thing in there, and I spend more time dinking with the muffler than I do anything else. Speaking of Chinese, where are those douchebags at? Why aren't they repopping these mufflers as hollow cans? Because I would buy every one of them. That was even if it was a $30 muffler that was completely empty. I would buy that in a heartbeat instead of dinking with this. It's easier to build an iron horse pipe for these things than a muffler mod. The porting's easy. You got just a little bit of machine work to do. You pitch a gasket. I like to do these on a 102 roof, and just move the ports just a little bit, and they work good for me. Every one of these that I've tried to scream to the moon to get a lot of RPM out of for other things, I don't like how much torque you have to give up to get them to zing. I mean, you can get them to spin. I've got one out there that's turning like 16, but it has no ass. I like a bit of pull in them. I think these things are just a great work saw. They're not a very good race saw. Probably the most durable 60cc saw you can buy, but I don't take a lot of them on because of that muffler. This is a guy I know. We did some horse trading, and I knew what I was getting into for the muffler mod on it, and I want to put an A2D filter setup on it, but so that's why I don't take these on, and because the muffler's about the same for the muffler mod as the 590. If I recall, I think they don't have the spacer welded on the back of the muffler, but I've done a lot of playing around with this chassis, and my personal feel in the hands, I like a 102 roof. Between a 125 and 122 transfer, 120 pushing it max. I widen I widen out the lowers. I haven't seen enough gain to trench the case out and cut these all out for something that's a work saw, but just opening them and letting the flow in makes a big difference. I still gotta finish cleaning up the exhaust port, and you can see right here, I don't move them much. I did open up this. I gotta finish texturing this. The insides of here will all have a diamond texture. I like diamond texture in them, and it's just on a 320 grit finish right now. I still gotta bump up to 400 and 600 and 800 and so on and polish it. Got to finish chamfering it and stuff, but my goal tonight is to hopefully finish all the port work so I can get this sealed up, and then I can dink around with doing the muffler mod. I really wish I'd probably port a lot more of these if I could just buy a hollow can. I've cut the sides out and tried to do it that way. They sound a little bit better, but the best muffler mods on them is to hollow them out and gut them. The next best option, which I don't know. I'd probably see if I could sink like a Dino Joe deflector past the baffle, but then you're really losing a lot of your empty space in there that does good. So I'll just do what typical do. I'll just gut the damn thing. I hate doing it, but it's time consuming. It's a pain in the butt. But I wish they'd have never done that, or I wish they'd have never furnace brazed this whole thing together, because it's a pain in the butt to get them apart. It'd been nice if I could have just took this apart, pulled out the crap I didn't want, and put it back together. But this won't be on it when I'm done with it. I'll have to cut a piece of steel out. Sometimes I put the bolts back in and just weld in the little piece of steel, and sometimes I put in a whole piece over it. Just depends on what I got, what I find for a piece of steel. I did have a windage tray that come out of a race motor that was cutting sections off that was working perfect, and I don't know what I did with it. But it was nice because it was the right width. I could just take a sliver of it off, and it was perfect. But I took 2 or 3 of them out of it, and then I set this. I know I didn't throw the windage tray away, but it's been a couple of years since I've dinked with a 590 620, so I ain't seen it in quite a while. But it was the perfect thickness steel. But oh well. Enough jibber jabbering on that. I got pistons coming out. I got 3 builds there that one's just I'm going to report. Well, 2 of them are reports and a piston swap. My buddy with the pull handle there, he wants that set up as a low compression eraser. So one of these pistons will be going into that one. And then the other one is Nate Blakesley's. He wants something. He's got parts coming to me. It's a 501 he bought. He wants something like what he was racing with stickers, but maybe with some of my new moves in it. I don't know. I'll have to talk to him more when I get to it. And then I still got my crank swap projects going on there, and I got some different things I'll be doing to that one. My whole goal on that build is to annihilate 2.0 version 4. And I want to smoke it bad. So I got some other ideas brewing in my head for that one. But I think I'm going to call this a video here. Let you guys know I'm still alive. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it to Mastermind's event or not. I think that's coming up this Friday and Saturday. But I don't know. It sounds like quite a few of us got sick. And I think Smitty said he's got bronchitis, I think. Oh, I don't know. I know I've been hacking crap out of my lungs. But I've jibber jabbered on here for over 24 minutes. So this is what I'm going to be puttering on tonight. And just going to jam out to some music and let the wife sleep. So you guys take it easy.